Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Naše programy nabízejí více jazyků. Prosím, navštivte suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Recently, large, severe dust and sandstorms have been occurring more frequently around the world. In 2022, a number of such events have smothered many parts of the Middle East, including Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and other areas. Dust and sandstorms, signs from nature to end animal-people exploitation, part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Vegetarianism stands for the extension of sympathy and understanding to the animal creation, and vegetarianism marks a step forward in the moral progress of the world, as definite as those steps which men took when they formed themselves into clans, tribes, and nations. Reverend Victor A. Callow, vegetarian.
Sa'id biliqa'ik, loving viewers. That means nice to meet you in Arabic. My name is Shakira. The people of Kuwait wish that Allah's loving grace will always protect your pure soul. Welcome to our show, Dust and Sandstorms, Signs from Nature to End Animal-People Exploitation, Part 2 of 2. Overgrazing causes desertification worldwide, resulting in the erosion of dry lands that in turn leads to dust and sandstorms. These events occur when winds fueled by climate change sweep through arid areas, sending massive volumes of dust and sand several hundred or even thousands of miles into the air. Recently, large, severe dust and sandstorms have been happening more frequently. In 2022, a series of dust storms and sandstorms have smothered many parts of the Middle East, including Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and other areas. This series of catastrophic events caused the air to become filled with unhealthy dust particles. Thousands have been sent to the hospital due to breathing problems. Iraq was severely hit by a series of dust and sandstorms. In May 2022, the Iraqi capital Baghdad was covered in a thick sheet of orange dust, impacting visibility and daily activities. Traffic on the city's usually busy streets came to a standstill. A month later, yet another disaster was reported as the 10th sandstorm in weeks swept through Iraq. The storm's dense, dusty layers of air pollution disrupted the lives of thousands of people. Daily activities and road traffic were interrupted, and flights had to be cancelled. The dusty air caused health problems, especially for people with asthma. Infectious diseases are also known to be transmitted by dust particles. According to the country's health ministry, over 30,000 people were hospitalized with breathing difficulties, and at least 3 died. Atmospheric scientists link such extreme weather events with climate change. La Niña, a cooling weather pattern that occurs in the Pacific Ocean, is usually amplified by the effects of climate change, leading to extreme weather events.
Iraq was covered in a thick sheet of sand as the country suffered a dust storm on Sunday. The recent storm adds to the series of dust storms that have become increasingly common in the country. Layers of dust settled across streets and vehicles in the capital, Baghdad. The orange dust seeped into people's homes as well. Flights were grounded due to poor visibility conditions at airports operating in Baghdad and the holy city of Najaf. A health official informed that hospitals in the area received 63 people suffering from respiratory problems as a result of this storm. Another 30 hospitalizations were reported in the desert province of Anbar in the west of the country. Earlier in April, Iraq was hammered by a series of such storms, grounding flights in major cities and leaving dozens hospitalized with respiratory problems. Iraq is particularly vulnerable to climate change. The country has witnessed record low rainfall and high temperatures in recent years. An official from the Environment Ministry had previously warned that Iraq could face 272 days of dust a year in the coming decades. The ministry suggested that such weather disasters can be avoided by increasing the vegetation cover and creating forests that can act as windbreaks.
Professor of Environmental Science Dr. Ramesh Singh says, when you have La Niña continuously, you have a dry winter which can affect the dust season the following year. Between December 2021 and February 2022, the Middle East region suffered low rainfall. His Excellency Barham Saleh, President of the Republic of Iraq, warns that tackling climate change must become a national priority for Iraq as it is an existential threat to the future of our generations to come. In May 2022, a sandstorm swept through the cities of Kuwait. The large sandstorm caused flight disruptions and the cancellation of a large-scale public event, the Amir Cup by the Kuwait Football Association. The hazardous air produced by the storm coated most of Kuwait in a thick orange haze. According to Kuwait's state news agency, Kuna, winds exceeded 60 kilometers per hour, and the dusty atmosphere decreased visibility to less than 500 meters. Sandstorms are not limited by borders and will wreak havoc any place as extreme weather events intensify. It was reported that a third severe dust or sandstorm hit Iran in mid-April 2022. In Tehran, average concentrations of 163 micrograms per cubic meter of hazardous fine particles, known as PM2.5, were found in the air. This measurement is more than 6 times the World Health Organization's recommended maximum of 25 micrograms per cubic meter. As a result of the unhealthy polluted atmosphere caused by this storm's blanket of dust, schools, universities, and government offices were closed in the Iranian capital. Airports in western Iran saw dozens of flights cancelled or delayed. In Khuzestan, Iran's hardest hit region, at least 800 people with breathing difficulties were forced to seek treatment. Meteorologist Dr. Nasim Hossein Hamzeh says, the increasing frequency of dust storms means more problems, more loss of life and property, and more destruction. In May 2022, the United Arab Emirates or UAE was smothered by a dust storm. Winds of dust with speeds of up to 40 kilometers per hour blew over the busy cities of the UAE, reducing visibility in some areas to less than 2,000 meters. The world's tallest building, Burj Khalifa, which is usually seen towering over Dubai's financial hub, was engulfed by a thick layer of dust. The dust also blanketed Abu Dhabi's Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque. Hazardous weather conditions caused respiratory or breathing difficulties and asthmatic problems for UAE residents. Commenting on the event, Dr. Rakesh Kumar Gupta, Deputy Medical Director and Pulmonology Specialist in the UAE, said, "In this dusty weather, a higher number of patients seek medical attention for respiratory issues. Exposure to sandstorms can cause health problems in people in the high-risk category, like patients with pre-existing respiratory conditions, pregnant women, children, the elderly, and those who work outdoors. Sandstorm exposure may worsen conditions like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, asthma, and cardiovascular diseases." During the same month, Saudi Arabia was the next Middle Eastern country to be impacted by a large dust storm that disrupted daily activities and made the kingdom center, the iconic tower in the capital Riyadh, become shrouded in clouds of dense dusty air. Due to low visibility, electronic signals along Riyadh's highways were displayed to slow down the speed of traffic. Approximately 1,285 citizens suffering from respiratory problems were rushed to emergency rooms in Riyadh hospitals. The United States has also not been spared from dust storms. In mid-May 2022, raging winds tore across parts of the U.S., bringing along vast plumes of dust that turned skies into a veil of darkness. Strong winds up to 169 kilometers or 105 miles per hour raced from Kansas to Wisconsin, blowing topsoil from farmland across the horizon. In Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a large area was completely engulfed by a dust storm, plunging communities into darkness. The fierce storm caused widespread property damage in cities and rural towns. According to the U.S. National Weather Service, one person was killed by a fallen tree in Sioux Falls.
That's not a thunderstorm rolling into Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That's a dust storm. The National Weather Service warned of winds up to 90 miles per hour in the area.
The fierce winds also affected the states of Nebraska, Iowa, and Minnesota. According to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, a life was lost in Minnesota. The death was caused by a fallen grain bin that hit a car. Regarding the event, forecaster Brian Smith said he had never seen a storm as powerful in his 34 years on the job. About a month later, it was reported that parts of Phoenix, Arizona, USA, experienced the first massive wall of a dust storm in the year's monsoon season. along the highway known as the Loop 202 Santon Freeway in Chandler, low visibility caused slow traffic. Also, dust storm warnings were issued for several cities in the Phoenix area, including Chandler, Tempe, Sun Lakes, and Queen Creek. Dust and sandstorms, which are linked to desertification or land degradation, cause vast dust and sand landscapes to become more mobile and easily carried by winds. The rise of these weather-related phenomena is exacerbated by climate change. In turn, a connection exists between desertification, overgrazing, methane emissions from raising animal, people, livestock, and climate change. The series of disasters now occurring across the globe may be warning signs from Mother Nature that more sustainable lifestyles need to be adopted worldwide. Let's hear some words of advice on this subject from Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Heat waves, dust storms, and flash floods have been occurring with increased intensity and damage. The desert is spreading relentlessly in northern Africa. Massive sandstorms in Iraq have become much more frequent and more severe. Yesterday, I was at the meeting, and the president of Mexico, he was the advocate for lessening methane, and he said methane is caused by livestock raising. So promoting organic plant-based food is, of course, the most urgent. So halting livestock grazing, which goes hand in hand with the vegan lifestyle, would also hugely lessen the desert conditions.
All information concerning the scientific evidence of climate change and its solution is in Supreme Master Ching Hai's book, From Crisis to Peace, free for download at crisistopeace.org.
Vegan. Awaken the hero in you.
Thank you for your precious presence today. May leaders and large organizations around the world begin to encourage and embrace more sustainable lifestyles via plant-based food production and consumption. May all beings be spiritually uplifted through Allah's loving grace.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/PE.